Fish Fest. It's going to be raining. Come on, Fish Fest.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 6th. Hey, before we get to the guys and all the fishing on the lakes around our area, let's talk about Fish Fest today. You still got time to come over here. We got a great lineup of pros. We got Lee Pitts with a seminar and crappie at 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock, we're going to have guys like Justin Hamner, Will Davis Jr., Greg Vinson, Pat Schlopper. We're going to have a bunch of them. Look at the headliners: Matt Herron, Scott Canterbury, John Cruz, Wes Logan, Brian New, Brandon Polinick, and Lee Livesey. Come see those guys. What a lineup we've got here. Great things, great food, vendors all over the place. Going to be a great day. Hey, but let's get to the fishing. It's going to be raining today, but we're still going to give you some information that if you do go fishing before Fish Fest, here's the information and what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 6th. We are joined by Tom Ott, who's out there at Weiss Lake with St. Jennifer. They're practicing, playing around a little bit, but they've also been spending quite a bit of time on Guntersville. Tom, what's happening on the big lake?
Well, I tell you, Dano, it was mighty tough to slide by the lake this morning on the way to Weiss, but we made it down here anyway. I tell you, we fished a big tournament last weekend, and the fishing was phenomenal. I mean, it really it started with a little bit of a fog kind of moved in. It didn't delay us, but we got up probably 60 fish or something along those lines. Had a real good finish. A couple of guys came in with a Guntersville Dirty 30, though, 30 pounds and just walked away with it. I mean, that was an incredible win. But, the fish are really just doing all that transition we've been talking about. You can catch some deep. You can catch a lot shallow. And that's really where we capitalized late in the day. We were able to get rid of a couple of small fish and caught some pre-spawners up in 5-6 foot of water. So finally, I think getting a little stable, and starting to act a little bit more like they should. We've had a strange spring. So, the more that they get where they need to be, that's the way we want it.
That sounds like a lot of fun, Tom. I'm hearing that a wacky rig's been doing pretty well up there, that you can get up there and throw something like that up there. Is that kind of stuff that you're seeing? Are you swim baits kicking in? What kind of spinner baits? Anything?
Man, I'm telling you, I really haven't seen a shad spawn. I've heard a little bit of a shad spawn's happening. I haven't seen it yet. It's got to be, right here. But, that wacky rig, I'm telling you, if you just want to catch fish, you can just absolutely wear them out. At one point, I flipped by a patch of eelgrass and caught 6 fish in a row on one small patch of eelgrass. And so it's time to take the kids out, the wife out, whoever, catch some fish. It's great.
Are you seeing any bit of a crappie bite, or the guys still out there doing their thing?
The crappie have kind of moved off a little bit. Every now and again, we'll run across some maybe in that 10 or 11 foot of water, but it seems like they've kind of moved out and doing their deeper thing now. But you still got the spider rigs out there rolling around in a little bit deeper water around some stumps. But I think that's what you're going to have to do to get out there and get some crappie.
Well, Tom, as always, brother, we appreciate everything. St. Jennifer, thank you for sharing him, and we will talk to you again next week.
See ya.
All right, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Tight lines out there.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 6th. Hey, we are joined by Weiss Lake King Lee Pitts, who joined us on live this week on Neely Henry. We got a few bites, but I know things are probably a little bit better up there at Weiss Lake for someone that knows the lake so well. Let's start with the crappie up there. Lee, what's happening?
We're on the tail end of the crappie right now. It's this time of year, there's some fish shallow, but most of them are moving out there to the deeper summertime areas. You can still catch a few fish shallow in some of these bays. Most of them are pulled out off, just kind of in the transition going back towards the main body of water. But they're starting to get out there on the deeper stumps. I know a lot of the guys are dropping live bait down out on the creek ledges, out on the brush piles, things like that. And still some dock shooting. We're catching some fish on some of these deeper docks, kind of pushed out maybe on some secondary points going out. So still a little bit of crappie fishing going on, but the majority of them, they're trying to get back out there to that deeper water and spend the summer.
All right, so let's talk bass bite at at Weiss Lake? What's happening there?
The bass on Weiss, we're the headwaters here of the Coosa chain coming through. So from what I've talked to a lot of the guys, they're struggling right now. It's that kind of funk a little bit. It's just the fish have just come off bed. They've struggled. They've had a hard, just a hard time of life for them. So they're just trying to heal up and get ready to get back out and get active on it. Some of the guys are catching fish, finesse, kind of like what we did yesterday. Earlier in the week, we kind of got a few to swing at it and kind of try to get it, but didn't really want it. Spinnerbait bite a little bit. Buzz bait has been pretty good. Just trying, I think it's something that aggravates them, and they look up and they just hate it so bad they just want to kill it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just kind of a finesse deal, throwing some trick worms, throwing some, little D-bombs, something like that. That little buckshot's been good for me.
So I know we're going to turn to Neely Henry, and we struggled a little bit yesterday. We did get some bite. We did that with Matt today as well. It seems like the overnight cold temperatures are kind of keeping the fish off until a little later in the day. Is that what you're seeing out of Neely?
Yeah, I think what it is just they really don't know what to do right now. I mean, this is kind of a strange situation that we've got. When you're in the 30s this time of year and those fish shallow, that water temperature kind of jumps around pretty quick on them like that.
Yeah.
So I think, and plus too, you look at 25, 30 mile an hour wind gust all week.
Yeah.
It just kind of puts those fish don't like staying up in there shallow and getting rolled around, so they back off and just kind of looking for better days. It's just one of those things that they just kind of just hold on and say we'll survive right now, and then we'll get ready to put the feed bag on.
Well, folks, they seem to be in the grass. If you can't get them on a swim jig, maybe a buzz bait, turn to a flipping pattern around spawning areas too. You might put a few in the boat. Lee, as always, brother, we'll talk to you soon, and we will see you later today for Fish Fest. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 6th. Hey, you're going to see this guy today at Fish Fest, but he's been fishing all week. He's on Lake Jordan. He's been on Lake Martin, getting ready for his tournaments and such over there. Gentry, what's going on Jordan Lake these days?
Dano, the last week and a half, I was pre-fishing Eufaula, but got some friends and talked to some guys, maybe get some information. The shad spawn is going on at Jordan. That's always a fun time if you get out there early. Usually up against the seawalls and the grass lines. We all know that's short-lived, but what I have noticed in just talking to some folks, when them shad quit spawning or you quit seeing them, just usually back off to that first drop. It seems like that's the shad will go out there. Your mid-running crankbaits, slowing a spinnerbait down, a chatterbait, stuff like that to try to continue to follow them shad and find them big old fat spotted bass.
So the spots are going to be moving around chasing that shad all the time. Are you seeing a largemouth bite there?
Yeah, they're mixed in, but it's just them spots are so mean up there. They'll just about run them out of there when them shad are up feeding like that. But yeah, like I said, they're mixed in, but your largemouth are still around your grass and all stuff like that.
So you still have a shad spawn down there in that area, even with cold overnights, or is it warmer overnight here than it is up in the north part of the state?
Yeah, we've had the cooler nights here, but I mean, even down on Eufaula, when we was pre-fishing, I mean, they're there too. So it's that time of year. All the lakes down here, they're still showing up even with the cooler nights.
All right, so talk to me about Lake Martin. What's going on over there?
The water's clearing at Lake Martin. Finally, the topwater bite was off this week. Maybe because of those cooler nights, the shad spawn, haven't seen it yet. I'm not saying it won't be there, any day now, but haven't seen it yet. The topwater bite was tough, but a lot of fish caught on your shallower. It's like they're starting the largemouth and the spots are starting to get a little more shallower. So your dock pilings, your shallower brush, little blow down or stick up with a shaky head and a Texas rig is where the majority of the bites are coming from.
So you're having to slow down a little bit to put them through, maybe work the bait a little bit more methodically through some of that stuff. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, and it seems off because of the water temperature and the time of year. You would think you could run around with a buzz bait all day and catch them. Just not the case for some reason. So you are having to slow down a little bit and work it through those shallow brush piles.
Well, Gentry, as always, brother, we appreciate everything. Thanks for the time. And we'll see you later today.
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 6th. Hey, it's Fish Fest Day, and you guys want to come out here and see this guy. He'll be here with his Tato design baits, helping Reaction Innovations a little bit too. Hey, let's talk fishing on Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's going on over there?
Man, it seems like most of the fish are done. They've come and gone. So hopefully we're going to get some fish when we get a little bit of stable weather. And so a little bit warmer nights, we're going to get some fish that'll start feeding back up, start making their transition out. Man, the spring so far this year, we've had a couple glimmers of hope, but it's been fairly lackluster. It's been what I call flat across the board. Neely Henry showed out a little bit this spring. We had 3 or 4 really good weeks there.
Yep.
But the rest of the Cooster River chain never really followed suit. It's still beating around that 15 to 18 pound range. And we never saw any what I call mega bags.
So Logan Martin, what's the bite like right now? Is it a moving bait, or are we having to kind of slow down and kind of go into maybe some offshore stuff for him yet?
Man, you can run around right now and you could throw a little bitty lightweight Carolina rig for what's left on some of these hard places that are still trying to spawn, or maybe a few fry garters here and there. We're fixing to start getting into the time where you can throw like prop baits, pop-ars, stuff like that. We're moving into the bluegill spawn, followed by the mayfly hatch. So those are really good morning options. Then these fish kind of traditionally pull out a little bit. These fish are going to start getting on some of these floating docks when they stage out. So you could throw like a chatterbait down the side of some of these docks. Throw little crankbaits, little swim baits, stuff like that works really good. And then you can, if you want to target some big fish, yeah, a glide bait's a fairly good option right now. It's a big easy meal for some of these fish. A lot of guys haven't done it. I recommend it, but it's still the same deal that we've had the past couple of weeks. You can catch fish that spawn really early right now that are already out in that 12, 14 foot range, and then at the exact same time we've got a few fish left bedding, and then we should have a lot of fry garters here in the next couple of weeks. So start looking at those little shady corners of docks and all.
So in the last 20 seconds, Elite Series is at Lay Lake this week. What do you think it's going to take to win that? How many pounds a day is you think going to be the winning weight?
15 and a half.
Well, they'll go out there and do the best they can. Hey, man, Josh, as always, we appreciate it. Thanks for spending the time with us. We'll see you later today.
Later, man.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, May the 6th. It's Fish Fest Day. We hope to see you here. But thank you for everything that you do to be the best part of Bucks Island. Whether you're looking for parts, service, that new boat, or you're looking for that lure that's going to put a few fish in the boat that these guys are talking about, thanks for being the best part of Bucks Island. We hope to see you today, and we'll talk to you again next week.